Travel with me for a minute. Come on. You couldn't drive a mile of my shoes, let alone not to mention walk a mile of my shoes. I don't condone wearing nobody else's shoes when it's challenging enough to navigate my own. I like to feel what I'm stepping in. At times, I don't have on shoes, like I live at the pool. My lifeguard watching over me, governing every move. 10 paces, turn around, blah, life is a duel. Be more like Christ, man, not like me. They say count to 10, I don't even make it to 3. Far from perfect and never claim to be. Despite what you think or know about me, Mary is the God in me. It don't matter how good I'm doing, huh? Cause y'all see what y'all wanna see, don't you? Stepping on my prayer closet empty. I've been lifting up everyone that's been against me. I'm the holiest sinner that you can ever meet with no shoes.
My storm is brewing, but what life might throw me today, I can't deny the grace the Most High be sending my way. Take it in stride, my rough ride, which path do I choose? Whatever the battle, I be paying dues and singing the blues. And as I try to hide my mental ride and keep it discreet, ain't no faking in me when my soul be hitting the street. Humility when I win, cause of the lessons learned when I lose. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in my shoes. So while my tribe depending on me to bring home that bread, I know that Yahweh never leaves me, cause that's what he said. To tell you the truth, it's a miracle I ain't already dead. But enough of that, man, the devil be playing games in my head. So while I try not to revert back to that version of me, I fumble with these loose chains and just remember I'm free. Sometimes my thoughts be scattered just like Yahweh did with the Jews. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in his shoes.
What was it, 93 when I was tripping? 94 started hustling, 96 started spitting, fell in love with the mic. The mother cast was faking, wasn't rocking it right. Lost my ace Monday morning, just was with him Sunday night. About ready to throw my hand in. Enough already, I'm barely standing. God, I got questions that need answering. And I don't mean to come off so demanding. Forgive me, but I'm hurting and it's killing me. I'm still a G, if not for me, I got kids now. I gotta change. We expect tomorrow to come when it's not promised. Have mercy on me, Father, forgive me, I know what I told you. At the time I was being honest, should've came to you first. Wanted hood love but died of thirst. Everything I tried to fix myself I made worse. Not denying that I'm blessed, just rebuking the curse. That's it, my shoes, my shoes, that's it.
Hey, welcome. This is Real Talk 101, Devil Exposed on Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4 p.m. As you can see, your hosts are back in the house, and it's good being up in here today, man. Let me tell you, we got plenty of testimonies when that portion comes. But we thank you for joining us today. And if this is your first time, what we usually do here on a week-to-week basis is talk about the past week's revelations, prayers, readings in the Word, any correspondence we've had with the Most High, and the things that He's conveyed unto us. Because trust and believe, every day that you are alive, you can learn from the Most High, who is unsearchable and unending, and is so full in His wisdom and knowledge that we don't even have enough time to learn everything that He knows. So it's good having conversation with Him on a regular basis. But in those conversations, He also shows us, even through the things that we see on our televisions and through our social media streams and everything going on in the world, He shows us how the devil is moving and how his traps are constantly being filled up with people who are, not awake, not hip to the Most High, ain't got no relationship with the Most High, and then also his tactics against those who are familiar with the Most High. So it allows us to be prepared. And what we do is we just come on here and we real talk and we rap about it so that you all may know. And by the grace and by the wisdom of the Holy Spirit, He makes the Ruach, He makes everything known to us, man. So say a silent prayer within yourself right now, asking for the indwelling of the Spirit so that you can have that discernment while we have our conversations. And you will get what you need for the rest of the week, man. But we usually start off with the prayer request, say a word of prayer, testify, and we jump right in. Today's going to be no different, and I'm just thankful to be up in here. How you doing today, bro?
Man, I'm with you on that, man. It's a blessing to be back in the studio. It's been a minute.
It is, man.
It's been a minute, man. It's been a good little minute for me. But as far as prayer requests go, I'm not 100% sure. I think I might have been in the studio since my father fell and broke his hip. Mm-hmm. I've asked for prayer. I think I did. Mm-hmm. But, he's in rehab now. Hopefully he ain't got no more than a couple weeks up there. Yeah. Getting better. All praise to the Most High. 73 years old, you fall and break your hip. A lot of people don't recover from that. But he's a soldier, been through a lot. And Most High ain't finished with him yet. So keep my father in prayer. You know, my family in general, everybody going through their individual struggles. This is a real treacherous time we in right now. You know, some people living good. You know, some people living a good life. You know, stress free. You know, finances is intact, and you know, relationship good. But others is going through the ringer. You know, getting hit on all sides, and not necessarily of any fault of their own. We all got to be able to see the role we play in the situations that we find ourselves in our own personal lives. But you know, nonetheless, the Ruach is able. You know, the Most High is able. I think we make our biggest mistakes by like, I'm gonna say selling the Most High short as far as not really being as real and as raw with our requests as we should be. You know, being too general as opposed to speaking specifically to. Now, anybody that's seen this broadcast know how we get down. You know what I'm saying? How we talk to the Most High. But you know, you gotta be, and He already knows. So it ain't like He don't already know. So if He already know, that's like going to a store and being recorded stealing, and then when questioned about it, you swear, but now you didn't take nothing, but you're on camera doing it, and they tell you, well, we could show you the video. I'm like, I ain't take nothing. Pockets full.
Right.
That's just dumb. You know what I'm saying? You might as well, you know what? Yeah, I did. I stole this. And be specific. Yeah, I stole the fourth candy bar in the box from the left to, you know, give him all of that, and that way he know. Okay, yeah. Not only did he know he did something wrong, but he understands that I know it all anyway. You understand what I'm saying? You know, but yeah, keep my family in prayer. There's a lot of individuals, man, that, and the Most High know, we know, collectively, just He knows what people are going through. You know what I'm saying? He knows what people are going through, and I'm just asking that He know, be that shield of protection for His people. It's a lot. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm constantly being told by somebody something, you know, and to try to recall it all could take this whole program. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So He knows, and just to present them situations collectively, you know, what we as His people are going through, you know, for Him to work it out. But specifically by name, definitely my father. And there's others that I know I'm just eluding me right now, but yeah, specifically, definitely my father.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I identify with that, man. A lot of people are struggling. If it all, I'm putting in a state of being an intercessor. Whenever things may be going smoothly in my life, the Most High be placing people on my mind. And it just reminds me of the fact that, man, He is the only one that can will and do through us anything that's good. Because naturally, we ain't going to be thinking about other people, man. We be doing our own thing, think about ourselves. And it's easy to resort to that mindset when nobody else is around you. In my situation, or not too heavy, am I around too many other people, but that happens, man. I'm thankful when that happens, man, because it's like I know it's Him, and I know it's not me. And I'm appreciative whenever He chooses to use me for something like that, man, because that means He's still got a purpose for me. But going on to my prayer request, man, I pray for my mother and my little cousin, Courtney. They driving home from Roanoke right now. They on the road. It's about a 4-hour drive. I don't know how far they are, but I know they on the road, so keep them in prayer. Also, my little brother, he came down with COVID yesterday, tested positive. And, you know, it was a real stressor for him at first because he was like, man, I've been kissing and holding my son, who ain't even, you know, a year old yet, just a couple months. So he was thinking about that, and I was getting on him now. He's quarantining in the lowest part of his house, and there's, of course, the baby and the mother all the way upstairs. And he's just trying to get better. But, you know, so far, you know, the baby's okay, the wife is okay. She tested negative. But
Did he explain any symptoms, or did he just test positive?
He said, he told me, I took him some stuff yesterday, everything I had left over, because I had it this week. I caught it on like Monday. I started feeling the scratchiness in the back of my throat on like Monday afternoon. Next day, Tuesday morning, that joint was full throttle, and I was like, all right, let's fight. And I'm going to talk about that in my testimony, because that's where my testimony is coming from, but I ain't getting into all that too heavy. But I took over to Brandon some of the leftover herbs and like citrus fruits that I had just to give it to him. I was like, man, just take this stuff like every day and as you need it. Plus I had, man, it's always good to find a bottle of ibuprofen, straight like prescribed joints, the big thick pills. Them joints knock out pain like that, man, and they'll keep you numb to pain for at least 12 hours, man. Them joints to me, because they say take one a day. So I took them over a couple of them just in case the pains hit. also keep my pops in prayer as well, man. I'm thankful that, man. Shoot, the day before Sunday, me, him, and Brandon was shooting around at the gym. You know what I'm saying? He's 70. He was moving around, and it was a play where he, he tried to drive on me. He tried to lay me. You know what I'm saying? Like with a left-hander. So I just put my body there. He can't move me. He fell. And when he fell, I was like, man, you can't be doing that down here. I don't want to laugh and start coughing. But he was like, man, I'm all right. And I'm like, give me your hand so I can help you up because I don't want you hurt nothing just getting up. He's like, shoot, man, I'm all right. And he, you know, in his pride or whatever, he got up, started shooting around again. So I was just thankful to see him like that. You know what I'm saying? Just out and moving. Because my mother has been hitting me up talking about that she wants him to have more exercise. Because now that he's retired, he sits home, you know, watches whatever he wants on TV. You know what I'm saying? He does golf a little now and then, but she wants him to get more exercise. So I need to get him back in the gym with me on at least some days. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just keeping him in prayer because, you know, when you get to that age, especially in this wicked world we live in, man, with all this mess that can mess with your system, and who knows what the vax has already done to people. Either they say that it strengthens your immune system, but I don't believe that joint cripples it, honestly, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Just keep him in prayer. And other than that, you know, nothing's coming to mind too heavy. But again, all praise to the Most High. I'm feeling better. And these blessings keep on flowing, man. They definitely do. So let's get the Ruach up in here before we kick off. Bow your heads. Lord Yahuwah, glory to your name, praise to your name, honor to your name. For you have been faithful, you have been merciful, you have been long-suffering, you have been patient, you have been considerate. You have considered your two soldiers who are sitting right here, who you knew before we were in these suits of flesh. And you knew that we would be born around this time, and you knew that we'd be sitting here around today. With all the things that have transpired in our lives, and an ample reason for you to take us out, hundreds of times before today, you saw fit because you knew that you had placed something in us that was going to respond to your Ruach so that we could sit down and do good. I ask right now that you send that Ruach HaKodesh upon me and to use us as vessels as you've had so many times before because we ain't got nothing for nobody. We don't deserve to be talking to nobody. But because you've elected us and because you've chosen us to sit here, then we're going to do what you chose us to do because everything is for the kingdom. And we believe that. And we honor that, and we're going to be loyal to that no matter what. So we thank you for that, for all your blessings, for your mercies, man. If we think hard about it, it ain't going to take too long for us to remember how good you've been to us even today. So we thank you for all these things, man. Thinking about the prayer requests that have been lifted up, I ask that you would continue to be with O's father as he's in rehab. And age don't mean nothing to you. You know what I'm saying? You had Sarah birthing kids like in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like you choose these times to do miraculous things when we are of an age where it is not expected that we can do certain things just to have your power shown. So I'm praying for the same thing. Again, because I believe it. And I want to be specific in that he recover fully and be better than he was before because you can do that. And I know that you can do that, Father. And I ask it in Yahushua's name. I ask you to continue to be with my fam, be with Brandon right now as he's going through the dregs of COVID. Be with him through it. Be with him through it. It may be rough, you know what I'm saying, but I know that he's going to come out on the other side fully healthy and expand his mind to the power that you put in the earth, that you said. You said the healing was in the leaves, was in the herbs, and the things from the earth. Man, you said that. If you didn't said it, I wouldn't be paying attention to it too heavy. But because you said it, I'm asking that you bless him in that regard with the things that he is taking and the types of things that he can be doing to speed along his recovery. Pray that you be with Mom and Courtney as they travel back from Roanoke. Be with Skip and Robin as they're out there, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing and the mission that they're on. Bring enlightenment to them as you see fit. Bring enlightenment to all those who are, you know, may not even know too much about you or know what's fully going on as you see fit. Because I know one thing, in the end, your name will be glorified. Everybody's going to realize at some point, whether sooner or later. And I'm thanking you so far that you've allowed us to see the sooner rather than the later. I ask that you be with this studio, all the people that come in and out. I ask that you bless them, the ownership, that you continue to have them thrive, the management in the back and control, you know, the buttons and the dials that we don't know nothing about. Be with them and their families as well. And it's a small thing, Father. Small thing for you to do that, Father. And that's all I'm glad about. You can forgive us of all of our sins because the blood purchased that, man. It purchased that forgiveness. I'm asking that you would wipe away any sin and iniquity that stands before us right now from your sight. Forget it. As far as the east is from the west, let it be removed from you, Father. Thank you for hearing and answering our prayers, and be with us as we go through another session. In your name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Hey, look, before we get into it, right, can we take a quick little break?
Sure, like
3
5?
minutes. Not even 5. We only need 5.
All right, we'll be right back in 3 minutes, man. Cut, and we'll be right back with you.
Travel with me for a minute. Come on. You couldn't drive a mile of my shoes, let alone not to mention walk a mile of my shoes. I don't condone wearing nobody else's shoes when it's challenging enough to navigate in my own. I like to feel what I'm stepping in. At times, I don't have on shoes, like I live at the pool. My lifeguard watching over me, governing every move. 10 paces, turn around, blah, life is a duel. Be more like Christ, man, not like me. They say count to 10, I don't even make it to 3. Far from perfect and never claim to be. Despite what you think or know about me, Mary is the God in me. It don't matter how good I'm doing, huh? Cause y'all see what y'all wanna see, don't you? Stepping on my prayer closet empty. I've been lifting up everyone that's been against me. I'm the holiest sinner that you can ever meet with no shoes.
My storm is brewing, but what life might throw me today, I can't deny the grace the Most High be sending my way. Take it in stride, my rough ride, which path do I choose? Whatever the battle, I be paying dues and singing the blues. And as I try to hide my mental ride and keep it discreet, ain't no faking in me when my soul be hitting the street. Humility when I win, cause of the lessons learned when I lose. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in my shoes. So while my tribe depending on me to bring home that bread, I know that Yahweh never leaves me, cause that's what he said. To tell you the truth, it's a miracle I ain't already dead. But enough of that, man, the devil be playing games in my head. So while I try not to revert back to that version of me, I fumble with these loose chains and just remember I'm free. Sometimes my thoughts be scattered just like Yahweh did with the Jews. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in his shoes.
What was it, 93 when I was tripping? 94 started hustling, 96 started spitting, fell in love with the mic. Them other cats was faking, wasn't rocking it right. Lost my ace Monday morning, just was with them Sunday night. About ready to throw my hand in. Enough already, I'm barely standing. God, I got questions that need answering, and I don't mean to come off so demanding. Forgive me, but I'm hurting and it's killing me. I'm still a G, if not for me, I got kids now, I gotta change. We expect tomorrow to come when it's not promised. Have mercy on me, Father, forgive me, I know what I told you. At the time I was being honest, should've came to you first. Wanted hood love but died of thirst. Everything I tried to fix myself I made worse. Not denying that I'm blessed, just rebuking the curse. That's it, my shoes, my shoes, that's it.
Yeah, we back again, man. We start off with the testimonies as usual, fam. I'm thankful this week because I went to a birthday party last Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? Good brother turned 50, known him for a while. Good dude, man, just a good brother. I don't know what else I can say about him. He's an anesthesiologist, so he works in the medical field. But he had a little shindig, man. Had a little live band cranking. Joint was a good time, man. But probably up in there is where I caught the virus for the second time, man. I'm at the point right now, just being honest with y'all, it's like, man, anything flu-like is going to be designated as COVID. True. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's COVID or not. Because it's got the same daggone symptoms. You know what I'm saying? So when you take a test, if you have flu-like symptoms, they just going to call it COVID. So I tested myself on like Tuesday, and I was clear. But I did it again on like Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. It came back positive, man. But let me tell y'all, the road or the ride with it was even easier than the first time. And I remember the first time I was in Florida, so I couldn't medicate and take my herbs and stuff that I had prior. So I had to deal with it like an extra day and a half. And then when I got home, I was able to do that and then beat it back into submission. And it just had me thinking when I had my lemons, you know what I'm saying, the oranges, thanks to my sister Jen, who brought through a couple things that I needed. Had my sea moss, you know what I'm saying, the black seed bitters, the ultimate, what's that joint called? The ultimate healing tonic or whatever. I should put all that joint in like the chat for this joint on YouTube afterwards, man. But it was fantastic. You get some herbs, man. Get some stuff that comes from the earth and knocks that stuff right out. And what it does, it enhances your immune system. See, and this is where the testimony comes in. We are fearfully and wonderfully made. The Most High has created us in such an immaculate way. He's given us systems to govern the insides of our bodies so that everything runs right. Kind of like a car. When you pop the hood open, you see an engine with a bunch of tubes, wires, and stuff coming out of it. And if you're not a mechanical engineer that built the engine, you may not know how it functions, but you know that it does. When you cut on that engine, that thing get to purring, and you step on the gas pedal and the car gets to moving, you know the system in there is working. And when you think about the immune system that we have, with the white blood cells and everything that the Most High has put in our body to fight off diseases, foreign substances or viruses or germs, anything that gets in your body and how your body defends itself, these things that come from the earth just help it. It enhances it. So when I took these things, I was consciously aware. It's like, all right, I'm just giving my immune system a boost right now so it could fight back against this virus. And exactly what it did, man. And then I swear to you, I had the aches and the shakes is what I call it. When you get that achiness and then the chills. I had that for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that was it, and it was gone. I ain't never felt something passed through me that quick. And I remember when it hit, my air conditioner came on, and I was like, whoa. And it like vibrated in me. Even after I got away from the air, I felt it in my core. I was just shivering. I couldn't stop. And I was like, dang, here you go. You just know it's there. And so when the joint passed through me, as I was taking the stuff, man, I just gave all praise to the Most High, man. Because truly, man, if you in league with him, and also, the Most High was like, man, don't be pessimistic. Do not be pessimistic. Have that cheerful heart. Have that grateful heart through this whole thing. Because the word says to do it good like a medicine. And I'm like, I ain't never really considered that verse before. Your mood and how you think about things, how you carry yourself during the sickness I ain't going to say manifest. I ain't going to say that word. It's going to bring about, you know what I'm saying, a quicker recovery because it's based on Scripture. Scripture said that. So, you know what I'm saying, I was giving him praise and thanks for the fact that I was with it and then I was over it. You know what I'm saying, in such a short period of time. And it just had me thinking about all those who were so fearful and just ran to get the snake bite, as some people call it, or the jab, or the shot, to try to defend themselves against something that...
And still might have caught it anyway.
And still, that's the biggest thing. You calling it a vaccine. That means it should defend against you getting it. But you can still get the joint anyway, whether you vaccinated. That will never make sense to me. Can't nobody explain that. So I'm like, if I can get it either way, I'll take my own methods and try the Most High's way rather than, you know what I'm saying, medications and stuff like that. But that's just me. But I was thankful on that, man. And the Most High definitely blessed, man. And, you know, going forward from that throughout the week, it was a good week. You know, I got into a little bit of Revelations, because I had finished walking through the New Testament, so I started Revelations again. But I don't want to start there because last week, when I was up in here, we were talking about pride. We were talking about arrogance. And the reason why, the real and true reason why the Most High destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, the reason why last week's program was entitled Pride, because of how we don't have to look too far to see examples of groups of people with great pride in the type of statements that they make and the way they carry themselves and how they act in general towards people who they believe are lesser than them. You can see examples of that everywhere. But it usually it's not stronger in any other place that I've seen right now except in that LGBTQ, that alphabet community. You know what I'm saying? And I went to break down how it's gotten so ridiculous that you cannot say anything that is offensive or contrary to what they think or believe without facing repercussion or consequence, even if what you say is true and it is fact. And it's ridiculous. And when I was talking about that, the main warning that came from last week's program was to never, ever have that mindset and to keep yourself in humble position. I talked about the 6 things that the Most High hates, yea, 7. But there was one verse that I could not find, that I found this week, that I want to bring back. We're going to rap about this a little bit and just see where it goes. It's in the book of Ezekiel. Book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verses 49 and 50. You see, when I came up in Adventism and in church, And just regular, even if I wasn't in church, I heard this like outside the church. The reason why Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed because of the homosexuality was off the chain. And that was the reason why he rained down fire and brimstone on that city. When in actuality, that was not the reason, but that abomination was a byproduct of the pride. And in Ezekiel chapter 16, reading out of this verse 49, it says, "Behold, this was the iniquity of your sister Sodom. Pride," the first thing, "fullness of bread, and an abundance of idleness was in her and in her daughters. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and the needy. And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw good. Now, that's the Most High speaking. And it's clear in verse 50, he took them away because ain't nobody else destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah but him. But just reviewing the things that he said was the reason, the iniquity that was in her. First thing he said was pride, which we covered at great length. But then it said fullness of bread. I mean, you got all the food you want. You're fat, comfortable, eat what you want, you're good and satisfied. And then you had an abundance of idleness. Not only was in her, but in her daughters. Wasn't nobody doing nothing but their own leisure, their own pleasure. I heard several times growing up that the idle hands of the devil's playground, or something like that. I think that was the phrase, how you say it.
Idle mind.
Idle mind. That's even better. Yeah, idle hands are like tools. Idle mind, that'd definitely be a playground. Idle mind is the devil's playground. And it said it not only was in her, but in her daughters, meaning the women of her city were just idle. They did whatever they want. There was no busyness. There was no strengthening of the needy or the poor, like it says in the latter part of the verse. But I'm thinking about this idleness thing, and I mean, just going here just because it's real talk. How many, and I'm speaking this based on what everybody else sees, how many times you go on social media, you find somebody's page either on IG or Facebook, and you see nothing but selfies. You know what I'm saying? You don't see nobody really doing nothing else except either taking pictures of themselves in the mirror or just taking pictures of themselves in general. And that's all the page is filled up with. That's the only content they got. Ain't no busyness, ain't no nothing, just sitting around taking pictures. You go to a place of luxury and you take pictures there. Or you go somewhere tropical and you take pictures there. That's all you got. And there's nothing else. I think that comes to my mind. That narcissistic, prideful mindset comes to my mind. And we've all been guilty of it at some point in time, but the abundance of it is what I see now. It's overwhelmingly so. Somebody posted a video yesterday. There was a dog who was in a 3-story building at the top floor who had crept out the window. He was like on the joint, looked like he was about to jump. And the people who were down on the streets, crowd of white people ran over that joint. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't jump. They were talking to the dog. Somebody said, negotiate with the dog.
And it was a real video?
Yeah. I'm like, and then, of course, the comments after the post were like, now, if that had been a human being, everybody would have just had their phones out and continued along their day. You know what I'm saying? It's shameful that an animal who looks like he's possibly injured, probably just don't even know what he's doing because he's an animal, is about to jump out a window or fall, and there's more sympathy and compassion for an animal than for your fellow man. Again, making me think about the fact that in these last days, the love of many is going to wax cold. You know what I'm saying? We ain't going to care for one another too much, and that's just evidence of that. But then, verse 50 in Ezekiel, man, and I want you to read it out of Tanakh, too, because I want to see if there's any difference in language. But it says, and they were haughty and committed abominations before me. Therefore, I took them away as I saw good. To be haughty. What's it? You got that? You got a definition for that?
But haughty?
Yeah. I know you got something open, but what does it mean to be haughty? That's like an old time word, man. My granddad used to say that word. We ain't really use that too heavy.
Haughty is proud, disdainful,
Ooh.
overbearing, contentious.
Contentious, disdainful. Pride was the first thing, or proud.
Proud. Overbearing.
Overbearing. Let me share this with y'all. Do you want to know why the Most High hates it so much? A prideful spirit is a type of spirit that says you don't need nothing. Can't nobody tell you nothing. And anybody, or how can I put this? It puts a person in a state of mind where They either don't regard or have no regard for anything else that is outside of themselves, whether it be in looks or knowledge or whatever. But it also puts them in a position where if they ain't listening to nobody parallel to them, certainly they ain't gonna listen to nothing from the Most High. Because you're prideful, you're haughty. And so the dangers of such a spirit can be clearly seen in the story of Lucifer, or Sataneo, should we say. And it just bears repeating. Anytime you see that in your life, that spirit in your life, wherever it may be, you may not have it in every facet, but if you have it somewhere, we're all prideful in one area or another, where we have to contend with it, we have to deal with it. And it bears putting into subjection, because pride can quickly, throw you away or pull you away from the Most High very easily, and away from people you love additionally as well, because I've seen that happen. But yeah, what is it? What is that drink? What other definition did you have? I know you had something open in the beginning to begin with.
Was it the Most High said he don't like a haughty look, right?
Yeah, prideful look was the first thing out of the 6 things that he hates. That was in Psalms. What was things like Psalms?
Just had me thinking about something else. But in here, in the Tanakh, it reads, you said 49 and 50.
Yeah.
Behold, this was the sin of Sodom, your sister. She and her daughters had pride, surfeit of bread. That's what I looked up, the word surfeit, surfeit. I'm assuming that's how you say that, of bread and peaceful serenity. But she did not strengthen the hand of the poor and the needy. And they were haughty, and they committed an abomination before me. So I removed them in accordance with what I saw. But that surfeit, it says excessive indulgence in anything, as in eating, or the second one was in an excess, an excessive amount as of food or flattery, a morbid condition caused by excessive eating, the discomfort or disgust as nausea resulting from excess in anything, or satiety. I don't even know what that is.
Yo, the overindulgence in anything is enough. That's right there.
This is an inflammatory skin disease characterized by temporary pimples. That's something at medieval times. But yeah, the discomfort or disgust and nausea resulting in excessive anything, a morbid condition caused by excessive eating, excessive amount of. So they had access for everything, but they didn't take care of the poor. They didn't take care of the people that was in need, but they had it to the point where they was morbid in their appearance because they just overindulged, but wouldn't look out for those who didn't have. Or like we read in
Josh.
As they get a joker's money, they wouldn't sell him nothing.
Oh. That and they did that for sport. It sounded like
just
they would
to mess
bet.
with him. Yeah,
they would bet on when he would die. If you ain't heard the story before, I think we talked about it here, but it's been a while. What they used to do in Sodom is when a foreigner would pass through their city, if they was by themselves, they was in poor shape, man. What they would do is they would give this foreigner money and jewels and precious things as gifts. But then that foreigner, when they would try to purchase food or things that they need, they wouldn't sell nothing to them. Which that's such a vicious torturing. You know what I'm saying? You got all this stuff, but you can't buy nothing as you're passing through the city, so that you come down to the point that you're starving. And the people who are giving you things are taking note and watching you. So it's not like they give you money to walk away. They're monitoring you to see when you're going to pass out from either dehydration because you ain't drinking no water or you ain't got no food. And they're going to see when you fall out. And then whoever predicts when that person's going to fall out, they come back and they get all the good stuff that was given to this person.
So you liken that concept under how the District of Columbia functions. You can go to school for free, but it's probably hard to find a job once you get your free degree. They're not going to let you get but so far, but they're going to let you get this free education. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, you come on, man, I got you, bro. Look, man, take this blank check, fill it out for whatever amount you want. You go to the bank, they give you the money. Man, look, let me get a bag of 50 cent chips. Nah, I don't rock with you like that. Nah, you can't get nothing. And look at you like, yeah, and what? But I gave you the money.
Right.
That's a vicious. They welcome you in with open arms. Come on in. Hey, man, you need some money? Don't offer you food. Don't offer you water. Give you money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever currency is needed to function. Even if it was gold and silver or whatever. Now you just got a bunch of gold and silver on you, jewelry or whatever. You just got all this crap laden on your body.
Yeah.
But the people around you ain't helping you with nothing. You can't get nothing from these people. Man, the government ain't giving you nothing for real. They ain't giving you nothing for real, but a rope to hang yourself with.
And the crazy thing is the story that we're mentioning that's in Jasher regarding this person who had this happen to him. Lot's daughter saw him and had compassion on him and gave him water and food at times when nobody was looking. And the people became upset because this dude should have been died and passed out. He wasn't dying. So they thought within themselves, so somebody is feeding
somebody doing
this
something.
person. So
somebody helping this guy.
Somebody help him. So we going to sit out and we going to kill whoever is helping this person. And that's just the type of culture they had in there. Then there were stories, you know what I'm saying, they had the corrupt judges in the districts. Because I want to be clear, I think I said this last week too, it wasn't just Sodom and Gomorrah, that's 2 cities. There were 5 cities of the plain that all got wrecked. And they were set up in a position of a pentagram. When I seen it on the map, I was like, oh, that's even wilder, you know, just like a tidbit of information. But when that happened, you know what I'm saying, that's why the Most High destroyed them, just because their ways and their ways of thinking, how they treated the foreigner and the needy and the poor among them, they had no regard for them. And they toyed with them. They played around with them for sport. And it kind of seems that this country is moving in the same direction. Kind of.
I think they've been there. They just blowing me away right now. People are acting so. A lot of people here showing all this concern, or like, you know, they getting upset because of the way people are being treated in other countries, or even animals.
Yeah.
These are the same people who killed little African American or whatever, little Israelite babies for sport. You know, the same bloodline, same lineage, you know what I'm saying? But they don't understand how a person could act like this towards another human being. They get it from their ancestors. Yeah. You know, it's in their blood.
It's in the blood, man.
It's in their bloodline, Joe. These people, these are sick people. Not all of them, but I'm just saying, Joe, history is there. You know, and they say history repeats itself. But what is it? Is it real? I mean, you really confused, or this is a part of that facade you're trying to put out there and make people think that you've actually changed? Man, an Ethiopian can't change his skin, and leopard can't change his spots, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But this country has been so Christianized. Everybody's saved by Jesus. You know, you're saved by grace through faith in that name.
So you do what you want.
You good. You know what I'm saying? We can let the old man die. You know, old things have passed away. The Most High said He's going to remember the iniquities of the fathers. He's going to visit them. He has not forgotten. You may have put it out your mind.
Yeah.
You may think you could for what grandpa, great-grandpa, great-great-grandpa did. You know what I'm saying? The reason your family got the type of wealth and stability and prestige in this country is because they stole and killed. You know what I'm saying? But so you don't expect it to happen. You don't expect it to come back around. You don't even want people to be taught about it no more. We're not like that anymore. But it happened, and somebody got to pay. Somebody got to give account for that. You know what I'm saying? The only thing you can do is repent. That's the only thing people can do at this point is repent and try to reconcile with the Most High. But as long as you banking on that traditional understanding you got, that money ain't gonna get you in there. I mean, you clearly you can have money and still get nothing. Like the dude that was in you know what I'm saying, they found himself in Sodom. That's what they do. They bait you in with all this fake wealth, but don't let you get nowhere. They don't let you get nowhere. The elites think they're untouchable, but the Most High is above them. And He's going to touch them. And I don't know when. You know, it's seeming like He's taking a little bit longer than I would like for Him to take, but one thing about that, it's going to happen.
Yeah, a verse that had me captivated last week, and I've read it several times, but the fact that the Most High Himself said He was going to laugh at their calamity. He said, when you call out for me for salvation, I'm going to laugh at you.
No compassion.
I'm like, yeah, do you know how vicious that is? You have an all-powerful Elohim who created everything that is, who is the only one that can help you when, let's say, disaster strikes like in nature or to your finances, like everything just collapses at one time. He's the only one that can help you. He gonna laugh.
He'll laugh at you.
He said he gonna laugh. And we as humans might think, oh, that's not fair. God is all loving and kind. It's like, no. You don't know Him.
Now, their God may be.
Oh,
the Most High's not.
Oh, there you go. You can specify that all day.
Yeah.
This is
the nation under God.
Right.
Indivisible. If If you think about the preamble, which ain't got nothing to do with us, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice. The Most High established justice. You can't no human being establish justice, and then you unjust, and you're establishing justice.
That's why cops are corrupt.
They establish just ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. It has nothing to do with slaves.
No.
It has nothing to do with people that were brought here from another country, another nation or whatever, another culture. They were forming a more perfect union in their eyes. And that nation is under their God, which is the same God the Egyptians worship, which is why you got the imagery on the dollar bill, you know, the all-seeing eye, pyramid, all that other good stuff. It all wraps together. It's not a conspiracy theory. Just do some homework, do some research, open your eyes, and pay attention to what's going on around you. And you might make it.
People
Maybe.
scared of the truth, bro. That's all it is. People are a bit afraid of the truth. I seen this one brother, he posted a video, I posted in the chat, the Truth Unedited dude, he made a point. He was like, man, I was watching all these people celebrate Independence Day, you know, with their red, white, and blue, this, that, and all. And he's like, man, what really are we celebrating? Because it is said that we are celebrating our independence, or not ours, but this nation's independence from Great Britain. But every monarch that we've had has been of the utmost gratitude and honor to meet the Queen of England over there whenever they've gone back. So if we still got honor, we ain't completely separated, and we still see it as an honor to go meet them, then it's like, well, what really are we celebrating? You know what I'm saying? With the divisions that this nation has currently over a vast array of issues. You know what I'm saying? Shortages in food, inflation dealing with gas and food products and other things as well. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole Roe v. Wade thing that has people up in arms. You know what I'm saying? When I view these types of issues that people clash on, I just look at it as like, yeah, this is just another link in the chain, and we headed towards destruction. It's coming. Because just like O said, the Most High has not forgot. But one of the greatest things this brother said, he's like, man, Thomas Jefferson himself said, and it is written on the wall of his memorial because I've seen it. He's like, man, I shudder to think that because I know that God in his mercy is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever. Because he knew that the building of this nation was done from its inception was done wrong. They were allowed to get the children of Yasharal and bring them over here because they were under curse and use them because they were cursed to build this nation. But just like in the word, every time a conquering nation puts a finger or a hand on the Most High's people because he let them, every time they always get it worse on the back end because the Most High comes through and liberates. Because he puts a promise on every one of them times. It's like, I will not leave you wholly destroyed. I will gather you. I'll pull you back from the four corners, and I'm going to gather you underneath my wings, and I'm going to be your Elohim, and you're going to be my people. He says it plenty of times. He ain't just going to let us be utterly destroyed. But those who he allowed to take advantage of, I remember there was one verse in that joint. He was like, man, do you think I take pleasure in letting other people take you out? Because it's putting shame on, everybody knows y'all my people. So when I allow this to happen, everybody knows too. It's like, yo, they must have disobeyed him. They must have done something wrong because their God is God. That's what they say. They know this. So when he comes back, as our scripture tells us, and, you know, I see people who say, you know, I don't believe in the word, F your Bible, I don't want to hear nothing you guys say. I was like, that's cool. That's cool. And that's the reason why the Most High gonna belly laugh when these same people will be screaming out to him. Same people. It's wild, fam. It really is wild. That's why it is important and it is imperative, if you have a relationship with the Most High, to cultivate that thing every day so you can hear his voice and be ready. Always be watching, always be ready. You know what I'm saying? This week, they cranked up CERN. I don't know if y'all know about that, and I ain't going to dig too deep into it right now because it's a lot of information, but CERN, C-E-R-N, the hydro something collider. I can't remember exactly. I think it's hydro collider or something like that, where they're exploring dark matter to see how much of it they can find. And all of this is preparation for some wild things. You read 2nd Baruch, you read 4th Ezra, books I can't wait to get back in this time around, man. They talk about the things that are going to come to pass, and they're going to be frighteningly real, and they're going to be very, very destructive. And a lot of people ain't ready.
Man, Yahweh did what he did, even in his judgment and punishment for our good. You know what I'm saying? When our first two parents said, all right, I'm not gonna go there. Exploring this dark matter, right? I've been hip to this CERN and HARP and all that stuff for some time, right? How they playing with the atmosphere, and they trying to recreate the Big Bang, you know, splitting atoms and smashing atoms or whatever. When the Most High allows that door to be open, when he says that's what y'all want, this is what y'all want. Y'all think they're your friends? You think these fallen angels are on your side? Wait till he let them come back into this realm. Wait. And they're here now, but they're in spirit form. They can possess. I believe he's going to let them. What's that joint say about the grasshoppers or something like that? And one of them plays, it's like men or something. Is it Revelations?
Yeah, it's Revelation. It's going to be locusts.
Locusts.
Locusts are going to come out of the pit where Abaddon is going to eventually come from. And those locusts have faces like men. They have hair, sackcloth, as black as sackcloth, and they're going to have crowns upon their heads. They're going to breathe fire. Their bodies are going to be like horses or lions, one or the other. I was about to read it this weekend. Yeah, you think about what I just described. It doesn't even seem like it could be real, right? Man. It sound like a cartoon animation. You know what I'm saying? Somebody drew a crazy looking locust. And he said that, first of all, this is the crazy thing. First of all, they've been identified as locusts. What do locusts usually eat? Vegetation. Mm-hmm. Anything green, they getting it. Moses said he's going to specifically tell them not to touch anything green, no vegetation, and just torment and harass men for 5 months. And men shall not be able to die. They're going to seek death. They're going to long for death, but it will evade them. It will not come to them. So you're going to be tormented because he said the locusts are going to have stings and bites or whatever. They're going to be like scorpions. And so I'm like, you got locusts with these crazy get-ups, looking crazy. They're going to be biting and stinging men for 5 months straight. And there's not going to be no reprieve. It's a plague, man. It's a straight-up plague. I don't know how he's going to do it, but, it's
they're going to bring it on themselves, though. That's it. I don't know if it's depicted like that and where that's written at, but well.
Here you go, because I just read it. I got it. The joint in is Revelation 9. Revelation 9. I'm going to find out where it begins. Verse 3, and it says, and there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of Elohim in their foreheads. So if you got the mark, these things are going to be messing with you heavy. Verse 5, and to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he strikes a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle. And on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions. And they had breastplates, as it were breastplates of iron, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running into the battle. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and there were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men for 5 months.
I can't imagine seeing a locust the size of a horse.
I can't.
With a scorpion's tail and wings.
And teeth like a lion.
Teeth like a flea.
What? What?
But Hollywood is prepared. The minds of the lost.
Yeah,
they're not going to be. They love that type of madness. They're gonna think it's a movie.
It's in programs that they watch now, man. I've seen clips of this joint called Stranger Things on Netflix.
I've seen it. I haven't clicked on it yet.
Oh man, bro, I'll be honest with you. Stranger Things came out a couple years ago. It's like 4 seasons right now. I looked at maybe 3 episodes of the first season. I got such a feeling of horror at what they were trying to show people, because it's about children who fall upon the other realm that is not seen, that we cannot see or hear, where the demons reside. and they call it the what is the I cannot remember what they call it on the show. Those people who watch the show know exactly what it's called. But that place, it's like the outside or the opposite or something like that. That's what they call it. And when you fall in there, you are given access to by any demons or any entity that lives in that area. And I was like, yeah, all this whole thing is about opening up this portal. Now, of course, the story progressed past 3 episodes, and I don't know where the story arc went because I stopped watching it. But there was this girl who could control all the demons or fight back against them when they came to the portal. And I was like, well, you got the enemy, and then you got the protagonist. This joint's just gonna get wilder and wilder. I'm gonna cut this off. But it's become like a cult classic, man, because it's based in the 80s. Like all the kids, whatever, they got all the clothes that we had on in the 80s or whatever. And yeah. Those of you who watch Stranger Things, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That joint is wild. It don't act like it ain't. Because if you still watching it, you probably excluded that fact from your mind. Like, that joint is actually really wild. Because if that stuff really happened, wouldn't nobody be prepared for it. But the reason why it was created, the reason why the show was created was to get your mind prepared for something like that to happen. And it will. Out of Second Baruch. I read that joint yesterday, man. And one of the things that will take place during these latter times, one of the tribulations that's going to fall, are specters and the attacks of the Shadaim. And the Shadaim in this book means demons. So, got all these movies about ghosts and demons attacking people. You're about to get it. Unless you're covered by the Most High. Unless you're covered by the Most High, man. And this ain't nothing new. We got all throughout the world. When Yahushua was walking back and forth, we know about the demoniac in the graveyard who came down in the Genesarenes. I think that's how you say the place where he was from. This stuff ain't new. It's not new at all. I think we was talking about it. You see all them people that be in them psych wards. You know what I'm saying? They dealing with demons. They ain't got no mental ill problems. They dealing with demons.
Demon-possessed people.
Mm-hmm.
You think about how much has happened since the 80s, since the 70s, when computers were the size of flipping, man, this room, it might take this whole room to hold a computer. It might take 10, 15 people.
The size of that chair.
To work on a computer. And this is what, 42 years later. 42 years. So inside the span of 50 years, look at what has happened. Look at what technology has done. Look at what has been produced. A computer. But I'm just sitting there thinking about the fact that what we call the internet was at one point called the web. It was the World Wide Web. When everybody had AOL and dial-up. You know what I'm saying? It was the World Wide Web. It was a web. What do webs do?
They catch people.
They catch you. Spiders use webs to catch their prey.
Yep.
Right. Once that spider take you to the interior part of that web,
it's a wrap. It wraps you up.
You know what I'm saying? Once you get it hit you. Have you ever watched a spider kill its prey?
Yeah.
And spin that.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
Man, pop the web from around it and spin it and just
with the
spin
legs
right
out here and they just wrapping you up like that with like their bottom 4 legs. It's amazing.
Now you're caught. So you're inside the net.
It's amazing.
You know what I'm saying? We it's like everything has been set up and by design to just keep you stuck in the midst of whatever that web's intention was. Who knows what the web? Well, I can imagine what the web's designers were intending. You know, they wanted to get filth across this planet as fast as they possibly could. It had nothing to do with, providing a service. I personally don't believe that, even though, what the enemy meant for evil, the Most High can turn around and use it for good. So, yeah, you can look online and figure out a way to put something together or order something that would take you a lot longer to get. All right, cool, but there's a lot more that web is used for than buying groceries and ordering clothes. Trust and believe. These females that are getting trafficked, man.
The dark web.
The dark web, exactly. But I'm thinking that's what the intention. It's always a more sinister side to everything. You know what I'm saying? What they show you out in front is not the real intention behind anything. But people think of it, science is this. Science is that. I mean, it has its perks, I guess. But
think about that. Hold on. You made a good point. The web that we surf on is kind of like, you know what I'm saying, I would equate it to like the reality of life. We can go buy something. I can buy something from Amazon, come to my house. I can go to Lowe's and buy something, bring it to my house. But then we know that there's another realm that we cannot see, the darker realm. Just like the dark web is behind the actual web. And a lot of sinners, don't nothing good happen on the dark web, from what I know.
Nah, that's my knowledge.
If you caught with access to it, you instantly going to jail. You know what I'm saying? With no questions, no answers, buts. If you ain't got no special setup where you can get in and be hidden, your IP address can be hidden, and you in there and you found out, they taking you out.
And even with that, all the coding and all that other stuff that goes on, all that URLs, and I don't understand that terminology and wouldn't know what I was looking at. But for it to be made out, for them to give you a keyboard with the alphabet on it, but for real, everything's written with numbers and little symbols or whatever. That's a whole nother language that people know, and somebody created it. For it to even be created, it had to be understood that this is for the purpose of disguise. We don't really want nobody else to understand. If you get into IT, I tell people, if you can get into IT, that's a hell of a field to go into. You know what I'm saying? Because you probably gonna always have some type of paying gig. You know, because technology is constantly changing. But I don't have a mind for that, and I'm glad. I thank the Most High that I don't have a mind for that. I don't want to know what that crap means. I really don't. I understand enough of it. But you was talking about surfing, and I'm like, what we do with our phones, or even I don't care what sites you go to. You know, whether it's porn or you watching niggas get killed or whatever it is you doing on your phone or putting before your eyes. That's like being on a beach with a boogie board. You know what I'm saying? But that dark web is niggas that's out there in the water surfing them 30, 40, 50-foot waves. They know what's going on. They know death could present itself at any given time. You know when you get out there. When you get towed out there by that little jet ski and you catch that wave, you may not make it through. You might drown. That water pressure may crush you. We stand by the shore. We're playing it safe. We know the sand is right there. We can turn around and swim as fast as we can and get back on land real quick. Most people don't want to venture out there in that water. They scared. Either they can't swim or they're just scared of what may happen. You know what I'm saying? Or some people find themselves out there unconsciously because they're just drifting along. Before you know it, you out there in the midst of 60, 70 feet of water, can't swim. That's how life will suck you in, just like that. Before you know it, you can't feel the bottom. Ain't nobody out there, and you can't swim. Now, if you don't know who the Most High is, for real, you got no help. I think that's why we was given the story about Peter, how he stepped out the boat on faith. You know, they said a lightning flash, he started to sink, and he looked to the Savior and cried out. He helped him, and then immediately I think that was when they was on their way to that island where that demon was at.
Yeah, I think so.
Was it en route?
He was coming back, because remember, he had gone to a mountain by himself to pray, and they launched out.
Right.
And he met him on the water. And when he met him, then they went, I think they went to Judges Race, I think.
Yeah, like they immediately was on the shore. Once he got in the boat.
Once he got in the boat, they was
right there. I'm just saying that whole act, you know, everything has its reason for us being given it as an account. You know what I'm saying? That whole thing, even though he was literally stepped out of the boat on literal water, we find ourselves in situations where that's how I feel. We drowned. It happened to me a few times last week. It's been happening for the past few months. Well, all I can do is just, man, you know, I'm being attacked by demons. I felt like I've been sick. I mean, I've taken so many Blaine COVID tests, man. They all keep coming up negative, but that don't change how I be feeling. You know what I'm saying? That the sinus congestion, the chest pressure, you know what I'm saying? Every time I step out the house, I feel weird. It's just something in the air. I mean, whatever it is, I'm not 100% sure, but there's something in the air. You know, it's unfortunate some people have succumbed to this disease. I looked up vaccine, right? Not to jump all over the place, but vaccine is just a modified virus. You said something about, you know, these people getting vaccinated. Now, before I said something, I wanted to look it up because I was always under the impression that a vaccine was them giving you a little bit of the virus. Right? So you can build up an immunity to it. But if COVID is supposed to be an airborne virus, how do they capture it to create a vaccine for it? How do you get it out the air? How do you harness it? You know what I'm saying? Or you take it from people that already got it. Whatever the process is.
Well, the virus itself is on a molecular level, but the biggest way it gets transferred is through airborne vapor.
Right.
From your mouth and everything. So but how it was created or formed, it was on a molecular level.
So for you to have a vaccine, it's what did it say? TUV. What did it say? Because I was like, man, I never looked up vaccine. I never looked up. I always assumed I knew, but it's a All right, and most of these joints came from something called cowpox or something. It's a lymph scab or any substance containing the virus or poison obtained from cows affected with a disease called cowpox or vaccinia, used to prevent smallpox, right? That was the first joint. The second one is any modified virus used for preventative inoculation against a disease. Is any modified virus used for preventative inoculation against a disease. A small pointed vaccine coated piece of bone. See, the fact that you can modify a virus, right? Mm-hmm. And the purpose of that is so it would inoculate. What does that mean? Inoculate.
I don't know.
The preventative inoculation. What was that?
Inoculation is like, I ain't gonna say infection, but like when you inoculate somebody, you're putting something in
right,
them.
Okay, right, okay. Yeah. So it's to prevent that. But they put it in you.
Right.
They modify this disease.
Right. So inoculation is like the willful giving it. So you get inoculated, you've allowed somebody to put something into your bloodstream, into your system. That's inoculation.
Regardless, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. And that's what, but like I'm saying, you see these people that have been vaccinated, yet they still get this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to ask you how you feel about the fact that you got that jab and you still got sick anyway. You know what I'm saying? But you pressing people like, man, you need to go get, and then you get boosters and you get, now they talking about all these different variants. They just trying to keep this fear factor going. And it's working for some people.
It is.
I would think the church folk would be the main ones not to get it because their hope and their faith is supposed to be somewhere else. But you banking on man now. First you was against man, against science, against all that other stuff. And now, since that's what the FDA says and this, that, and the other thing, and the CDC, you don't know what you believe.
It's good for them to
get it. You ain't got a clue.
It's easy for them to get it when they see their pastor get it.
And the pastor's promoting it.
Yeah.
Church, get your vaccines. Yeah, man, that's what God wants you to do this. Man.
Whenever I think about that, I don't care what criminal has lived, what psychopath has killed millions and millions of people. I believe the worst thing you can be is a false prophet. Because you are willfully saying something that you said God said that he ain't saying.
He didn't say. And sometimes it's blatantly against what he said.
That's egregious. Like, you can break a law of man, okay? You don't steal, which was actually, that's a law of Yah too. But I'm just like, when you lie on the Most High, and then you lead, and then it's double bad because if you lead people astray like that, their blood is on your hands.
Mm-hmm. That's scripture.
That's frightening to me. Like, I know the mess I deal with, you know what I'm saying? But the stuff I deal with that's in me, that the Most High cover me with the blood with, that just affects me. Yah have mercy if I put a stumbling block in front of my brother and then say that Yah told me to put it there. Yo, if you a minister of the word, let this be a reminder to make sure your calling in election is sure. Don't be false prophesying out this joint. I don't care how I feel. What's up?
Listen to the definition of vaccinate. You said that it's vaccinate.
Vaccinated.
Vaccinate.
Okay.
To inoculate with the killed germs of a disease or with germs of a less severe allied disease in order to render the patient through the development of antibodies resistant or immune to the disease as typhoid fever or smallpox especially. To protect against smallpox by introducing into the system the virus or poison from the disease cowpox. So to protect you against smallpox, which you don't have or may not ever get, they're going to introduce into your system the virus of cowpox.
You know what tickles me about all that?
When people didn't think for themselves, I guess this would be the way to go. But since our mind, we've been educated to a certain
think for
extent,
ourselves, right?
That doesn't even make sense.
It's the way they say it's supposed to work. I mean, the only thing that's partially, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that process is foolproof. That's the issue I have with it. I guess
in theory, if I'm gonna give you a little bit of something,
right,
so your body can build up an immunity, because the body will do that,
right,
fight and fend off these different variants. But I don't want you to give me something I don't have.
Right.
What if my what if my body don't? You know what I'm saying? What if it acts? What if? What if? There's always room for a what if.
And that puts medicine over y'all. Because, I mean, if you, like I say, if you have more trust in your doctor than you do the Most High, then to go that route would make sense. It just would. But the other thing I want to bring up is the fact that we got a monkeypox out now.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple pictures. And what's funny about that, it only seems to be found in those who are homosexual. If you practice that, and the CDC said it. The CDC came out and said, it only is found among those who practice or have a homosexual lifestyle.
What is homosexuality now? What is it? I mean, there's so many other letters. I mean, what is it? To be homosexual, one point just was gay.
Like the same sex, I'm thinking. If you a man, you like men. If you a woman, you like women. And that's all you see. I mean, they call them lesbian, but the homosexual is that's what that
That's what
word
I'm saying.
means.
I mean, gay,
same sex.
Gay could be attributed to a man liking a man or a woman liking a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You use the derogatory terms, and I'm not gonna say that. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I ain't. But I just think homosexual was men and lesbian was women.
Mm.
If you're a man, you're a homosexual. If you're a female, if you're a gay man, you're a homosexual. If
That's
you're
the title.
a gay woman, you're a lesbian. That's what I thought.
What's the title?
But then you got transgender people and bisexual people.
Like both, yep.
So could this be something that's attributed to the LGBTQRS community, or is it just?
Well, the disease is. I find it interesting that the disease that the CDC said is found only amongst them.
Only amongst homosexuals, huh?
And I'm like, okay, that's interesting. But each one of those things goes against the natural. You know what I'm saying? It's because if it was natural, it would already be known. It wouldn't have to have a specific letter or a term for it because it's natural.
About that too. Talk about what it's gonna be like in the last days.
Yeah. People making pedophilia a little bit more tolerable, which is revolting. Bestiality, everybody's that's why I think the biggest damage is from this LGBT whatever community movement. It is allowing people with other fetishes and tastes to be proud about the things which are perverse, and they feel the need to make everybody, or they see the avenue so that everybody has to pay them respect for their perversity or whatever they like that ain't natural, just like they did for the rest of the community.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. It says feeling sexual attraction to a person of the same sex.
Yeah. And that's both male and female.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep. So I guess
lesbian is just a fancy name.
Boy,
that's been around for a while, man. HBO used to have that show, The L Word. I didn't even know what that was. I was about watching one episode. I was like, what?
It says pertaining to the island of Lesbos.
Oh,
lesbian. Pertaining to the island of Lesbos, but in an erotic sense, sexual attraction felt by a woman for another woman.
What was this Isle of Lesbos?
That's what it said. I don't know where Lesbos is.
I'm going to look that up this week.
Lesbos.
It's probably an island when it was just a bunch of women, huh? I don't know.
But that's women.
Check it out.
Yeah, that's man. We ain't got to make that a topic of discussion, but it was just. I was just curious. It's the EFG. So as far as this pride thing, right? I mean, did you? But I heard you brought it up in the beginning. You see what is happening in our city. It's going on everywhere. They're boasting this thing, and if it goes before a fall, then something really extreme should be anticipated.
That was the point of that discussion last week and this, to let you know that this is why destruction will come.
It has to
and that's why I read that Ezekiel quote, because he said, man, this was the issue of your sister Sodom. And everything that he mentioned, that's what America has problems with today. So if he did that then to them, when destruction comes upon here, which people probably think it won't, but again, that's pride, you it's like you just get caught up in the same trap, because nothing is new under the sun. All that has been done before will be done again. Most High already said it. So when we see such a spirit of arrogance and pride in our own nation, we cannot be surprised when destruction comes. And when it comes, it's going to come suddenly, because he said it was. Do not hate the messenger. Just trying to warn you. so that it can be said, man. And shoot, I already know. People ain't gonna listen, man. Wow. Another thing I read this week was the fact that I think it wasn't in Ezekiel, it was somewhere else. He said they were eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage until the rains came. Noah went into the ark. So, similar thing is gonna happen. People are gonna be eating and drinking and partying and taking selfies and recordings and doing all this stuff until the calamity arrives. And when it happens, it's gonna take a lot of people by surprise.
Pride has a pretty interesting definition. I'm pretty sure I've read it before.
I'm sure. What does it say?
I'm pretty sure I've read it before. It says undue self-esteem or conceit.
Ooh.
That was just the first one.
Undue self-esteem.
But you're supposed to have self-esteem, right?
But hold on. That means you're going too far with it.
Undue. You think too much of yourself.
Oh, that's perfect. I like that definition the best.
Undue self-esteem.
Undue self-esteem.
That of which one is proud. But it's funny, you're being taught indirectly to be, you got to have self-esteem. You got to look at yourself like this. You got to look at yourself like that. But you got to also understand what you are, though.
Yeah, yes. Yes, you have to have understanding.
Or do you know what you are? Are people really being taught what we really are? We're fallen beings, you know what I'm saying? Sinners saved by grace. We're not perfect. No, you don't want to think like that.
We don't like that.
Especially you want to be all you can be. You got to get them fatigues on.
That comes from having the knowledge of both good and evil. Because otherwise, if we had never eaten, we would be whatever Yah said we were. We'd be content.
We'd be content with whatever he said we were.
Content.
And we still are whatever he says we are.
Mm-hmm.
But to give ourselves undue
self-esteem.
Undue self-esteem, and then it says haughtiness or disdain or sense of personal dignity, high and dignified self-respect.
High and dignified self-respect.
Now you should have self-esteem.
Yeah.
You should
have self-respect.
You should have self-respect. You know what I'm saying? You should try to carry yourself in a dignified way.
It should never be undue.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it.
Don't ever overdo it, fam.
I was thinking about that with a haughty look, right? Overbearing. I think about the way I be looking at people sometimes, right? So I started looking for so many different definitions. I was like, man, I hope I ain't got no haughty look. I've been telling myself every day, you got to smile more, even if you don't mean it.
Haughty look, I believe, is fortified in your heart, like how you are thinking when you have that look.
Okay.
Because some people may just have a resting haughty look. You know what I'm saying? But if you are literally looking at somebody and in your heart, which only the Most High can read, and you like, better than that nigga over there.
Oh, no.
Man, they ain't nothing over there. They ain't giving nobody no money. Just mama. If you are having those types of thoughts in your heart while you are having a haughty look, then Most High don't like all that.
Oh, no, I do look at people like, man, that message is stupid. It's just dumb. Why are you doing this? This just doesn't make sense to me. Listening to certain stuff and watching certain stuff. But then I check myself because, I know I do dumb stuff myself. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But, bro, it's, you good? You need
I'm
number?
good. I just didn't want to do that on camera.
Oh, yeah, man. It's, it's funny. And I can imagine, we ain't got to talk about it on the air.
But, yeah, man, I ain't really had too much extra besides that, man. It's a good reminder because anytime during our week, pride is one of the easiest flaws that we have. I think it is not one of the. I think it is the easiest thing that we can fall from. That can take over our mind, take over our spirit, and we can carry that with us for an extended period of time, man. But the Most High, for those who have a relationship with him, Most High knows we all deal with that because we still deal with it. I deal with it at certain times. When I'm doing something better than somebody else, I'll feel it well up within me. Like, yeah, that was I'm that. Like, I can feel it. But then instantly, because I got a relationship with the Most High, he will put me in remembrance of what I really am. And then I have the choice to either carry on my pride or be submissive to what he's telling me. I'm like, all right, nah, I ain't even going to do that. And just like the other reason why it's good to have that reflection and then resort to, humility is because just like the Most High hates pride, he loves humility. Mm-hmm. And if you love the Most High, why not exude something that he loves? It comes with his spirit. So he brings about you the attribute that he loves because you're in sync with him. But when you're away from him, that's why, again, I've said it plenty of times on this show, one of the best prayers in this whole book is when David was like, man, Most High, don't give me more than I need, lest I forget about you. And don't give me too little, lest I curse your name. Just give me what I need day by day. There's so much wisdom in that because he knows you go to one extreme, you're going to start being prideful. Go to the other extreme, you're going to start being hateful and resentful. But if you get just what you need day by day, you just remain thankful and grateful. That's why that's wise, man.
So, a couple testimonies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, Jeanette's daughter, Jalen, she been praying about a new job, new position. Uh-huh. I'm not going to go into the back end of me and her conversation, but she taught me some stuff about myself as well. You know what I'm saying? I said something in response to her telling me what the Most High did. She prayed, like I said, you got to pray specific prayers. You know, she wanted a job that made more money. No, she was telling me she got a job. She getting paid more. It's whatever it's called when you work at home, teller. Like when you work at home. And she can be able to get to spend more time with her daughter. And, you know, I said, well, look, the Most High looked out for you. He blessed you, even in ways you didn't. I mean, whatever I was saying, she was like, nah. I mean, that's what I asked for. I said, you specifically asked the Most High your prayer for more money? She was like, yeah. And I told him I wanted to work from home so I could spend more time with Jaya, you know what I'm saying, her daughter. I'm just sitting there like, And he answered that thing flat out, you know what I'm saying? Gave her a job where she's working from home, making more money, and she can be able to spend more time with her daughter. Very specific prayer. Very specific. Not, God, I want a better job. God, I need some more money. I mean, I want a better job. I'm making more money and I can do this, that, and the other thing. It's time to be specific. You know what I'm saying? And as a result, it had me express something to her. Situation happened uptown, right? And all I'm going to say is as a result, I twisted my ankle, my other ankle. You know, I broke my left, twisted my right as a result of this. But I didn't have to do what I did. I just found myself getting irritated that this person was disregarding. And as I'm explaining what happened, in my mind, the thought was like, why didn't you pray for the person, right? But I'm talking about a person you think they were a demon. You think they were just like I'm talking about. Yeah, you wouldn't even want to make eye contact with this individual just because of their appearance. But instead of me getting, frustrated or upset that this person constantly presenting themselves, I was like, after saying it several times for a few days, I physically had to help this person remove himself, right? And in my attempt to pursue them, I stepped off the curb wrong and twisted my ankle. Okay. I'm cussing myself out because it wasn't even that serious, and that's what she hit me with. You know what I'm saying? She's like, "Well, do you think that was necessary?" I'm like, I know it wasn't necessary, but that's what I chose to do in the moment. You got to defend your nonsense, right? She's like, sometimes, you do too much. I was like, man, I be doing too much. Sometimes I feel like I don't do enough. You know what I'm saying? Because people be looking like, man, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? I consider what she said. You know what I'm saying? The Most High chose that to be a learning experience. I learned several things from her. Number one, be specific in what you're praying about. Number two, stop doing so much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes it's just prayer is the only thing that's required, you know what I'm saying? Because the Most High is the one that's in control. He's the one doing it ultimately anyway. We may think we do have a role to play, and I'm not gonna take our participation completely out of the picture. But especially in situations where like this person just kept coming back. I saw the demon harassing me. But instead of me addressing the demon, I addressed the person. You know what I'm saying? I reacted to the person as opposed to what I know was controlling the person. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side of that, when you want the Most High to bless you physically from his spiritual realm, that's how you got to interact with him. You got to literally put yourself there and talk to him like you believe what's coming from there. I hate to use the term manifest, but that's really the only time you should really use it because that's what he does. He manifests things in our life. We don't do it for ourselves. We can't do it. He'll tell you, you need to do this, that you focus on it, this, and yeah, all right, that sounds good. But every good and perfect gift comes from the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Anything else has its source as well. That's one. You do with that. I don't know if you showed me something the other day, right? It blew my mind. Like I said, I've been getting my behind whooped, up and down, but I talk to the Most High like, Joe, I'm getting attacked. And I know what it is. And it's messed up when you drop yourself behind enemy lines. You can't really complain about getting beat on, when you place yourself behind enemy lines. But Yahweh was merciful. And he picked us. And I'm not going to say we can't be unpicked, but if we were going to be unpicked, he would have been unpicked us. And I ain't just talking about us as individuals. He picked the people. We just happen to be the remnant of. So we got special provisions. But again, that don't mean you stay in ignorance. He's working with us individually. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna tell you, he did something with me. He's been showing me stuff anyway, using certain people to open my eyes up to certain things. I got some ideas about some stuff that's gonna come to fruition. He showed me something, man. I walked out the house, like I told when we came in here, Bob. I told Bob I just washed my truck like a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. But I didn't do nothing with the tires, right? This may sound crazy or whatever, but I think it was last Wednesday or whatever it was. I put some tire shine on my tires on my truck before I left to go uptown. And I know this may seem like it doesn't mean anything, right? But I came out from somewhere. I can't remember where I was coming out from. And I looked at the truck and the angle it was parked at, and the way, because it was clean, chrome shining here and there, and the tires had a certain little shine to it. It wasn't wet, but it had a little shine, and the rims was clean. And it was just getting dark, and I saw the truck, and immediately the Most High took me back to where he first showed me that truck. Because when I came out the store, it was like the thought. I wasn't looking at the truck like, yeah, that's my truck. Right. The thought came to my mind like, I told you that truck was for you. I don't know if you remember me tell you the time I washed it at TA. Yeah. And I'm washing Johnny was like, man, this truck was created for you, right? So I used to have dreams. We was in Virginia, and that pickup truck, or a truck very similar to that pickup truck, used to drive through. I wasn't on pickup trucks as a kid. We was on Cadillacs. You know what I'm saying? Them country boys was on pickup trucks. Right. They used to park their pickup trucks in the back of the school, all covered in mud from mud bogging. I'm talking about a pickup truck. Used to always just kind of creep through my dream. You know what I'm saying? For at least 2-3 years. And the other day he showed me that was that truck. And I may sound wild. My experiences are a little different. But that just let me know right there in my mind.
Testimony.
In my mind, he's always been working with me. You know what I'm saying? Outwardly, I get in the way.
All praise.
A whole lot. You know what I'm saying? We get in our own way, but he knows the thoughts that he thinks to us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was about, matter of fact, the thing was, this is what I was, thank you, y'all. I'm wondering to myself, how's it that we lose in our dreams? Right? It's our dreams. Why we ain't on top of everything? And I don't know if you have this experience. You know what I'm saying? How's it that they can get over on you in your dream?
It's happened.
But I'm saying it's your dream.
Yeah.
It's not a real situation, but it's your dream. You about to get jumped. Joker's about to bring you a move. You know what I'm saying? Everything going good. That's nigga pop up trying to rob you in your dream. Why is that okay?
When you running from something, you slow as a bug. They on your ass.
In your dream, you would think in your dream you should be able to, be a king.
Yeah.
Live good. Nah, I'm like, Joe, this is too real. But dreams have purposes. Our dreams have purposes, man. And I don't know what y'all going through out there. I can't. I'm gonna leave you with this though. Be specific in your prayers and pay attention to your dreams.
I'm gonna take that one
because they mean something. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing's by mistake. Gotta be specific in your prayers. Very specific, especially for other people. Especially for other people. As well as for yourself. And pay attention to your dreams. That's how the Spirit communicates with us. Internally in our minds. Sometimes there's been times I've asked the Most High to give me a dream. Just show me something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And even if it's something bad or maybe seem like something negative, at least I know it was communicated to me by him. Cool. That means you still there. You still rocking with me. And I've stopped that. I've stopped thinking like that. Like, are you still there, y'all? Are you still there? He ain't going nowhere. He said, I'm not going to leave you nor forsake you. The question is, are we leaving him too often? You know what I'm saying? Do we let too much time pass between, genuine, submissive interaction to him? You don't fight nothing he gives you, even if it's a whooping. If he gives you a tongue lashing in the word, you take that tongue lashing and make corrections or allow corrections to be made. And if he bless you, take that blessing. If he raises you up, then allow yourself to be raised up. And if he chops you down, then be chopped down. The Father's the one doing it. Trust me, there's something better always on the back end coming from him.
Who he loves, he also rebukes and chastens.
That's how you know you're his.
Sheesh.
Like I said, if it's going too good for you right now, you better reassess your life. You better reassess your life. Bow your head. Most High Yahweh, thank you for allowing us this opportunity to just break bread with you for a little bit. Thank you for stopping through the studio. Ask that you be with the prayer request that was raised in the beginning of this program for my father, Brad's father, for his mother and his cousin on their way back. Our families in general, our sisters in the study group are going through different individual things in their own households. Yeah, you know what they are. So I'm not going to be too specific because you already know what they are, but I know we've already given it to you anyway, and I believe you're working it out. You know what my brothers are going through. You know what Brandon's going through right now, and how serious that could be with the little one, the little new one there, and Ush. So just be a supernatural Lysol spray in that house and crush any germ that's moving through the air, so that I know Brandon good, even though he's already been lifted up to you. But protect the little baby's lungs and protect Ush's lungs, because this thing is real. It is real, and it does have its effect on people. But we know we're protected. We claiming this protection in the name of Yahweh Shai. I'll be with this studio. Thanks for Bobby. It was good to see Bobby again today. He's doing better for whatever it was he was going through. Be with the other engineers that work here. Be with us going forward into this week, y'all. I see you trying to bring them gas prices down a little bit, and I'm appreciative of that because it's rough. But I'm asking that you still provide a means for your people to not have to struggle as much while this transition is taking place. It's getting rough for people, and some people may turn away, not from quote unquote the faith, but from truth. It's hard stepping out here on this platform by ourselves, and I don't mean just us, myself and my brother here, but there's a very small number of people in comparison that have stepped away from tradition and standing solely on truth. So before they get weary or discouraged, I just ask you provide us all the much needed blessing of financial comfort, mental peace, even if just for a brief moment, or just cover us, and so we'll know that we're fully protected and we're fully covered by your Ruach HaKodesh. Save us from ourselves, ultimately. Help us to be more specific in our prayer life, and help us to pay more attention to the way you speak to us in our dreams. Be with my children, be with my nieces and my nephews. Just watch over us and protect us. In Yahweh Shai's name, amen.
Amen. It's been Real Talk 101. Devil Exposed here on a Sunday afternoon, 2 to 4. Till the next time we meet, may Yah bless and keep you.
Seek truth and not the traditions of men.
Travel with me for a minute. Come on. You couldn't drive a mile on my shoes, let alone not to mention walk a mile on my shoes. I don't condone wearing nobody else's shoes when it's challenging enough to navigate my own. I like to feel what I'm stepping in. At times, I don't have on shoes, like I live at the pool. My lifeguard watching over me, governing every move. 10 paces, turn around, blah, life is a duel. Be more like Christ, man, not like me. They say count to 10, I don't even make it to 3. Far from perfect and never claim to be. Despite what you think or know about me, Mary is the God in me. It don't matter how good I'm doing, huh? Cause y'all see what y'all wanna see. don't you? Stepping on my prayer closet empty. I've been lifting up everyone that's been against me. I'm the holiest sinner that you could ever meet with no shoes.
My storm is brewing, but what life might throw me today, I can't deny the grace the Most High be sending my way. Take it in stride, my rough ride, which path do I choose? Whatever the battle, I be paying dues and singing the blues. And as I try to hide my mental ride and keep it discreet, ain't no faking in me when my soul be hitting the street. Humility when I win, cause of the lessons learned when I lose. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in my shoes. So while my tribe depending on me to bring home that bread, I know that Yahweh never leaves me, cause that's what he said. To tell you the truth, it's a miracle I ain't already dead. But enough of that, man, the devil be playing games in my head. So while I try not to revert back to that version of me, I fumble with these loose chains and just remember I'm free. Sometimes my thoughts be scattered just like Yahweh did with the Jews. And can't nobody really relate till they walk a mile in his shoes.
What was it, 93 when I was tripping? 94 started hustling, 96 started spitting, fell in love with the mic. The mother cats was faking, wasn't rocking it right. Lost my ace Monday morning, just was with him Sunday night. About ready to throw my hand in. Enough already, I'm barely standing. God, I got questions that need answering. And I don't mean to come off so demanding. Forgive me, but I'm hurting and it's killing me. I'm still a G, if not for me, I got kids now. I gotta change. We expect tomorrow to come when it's not promised. Have mercy on me, Father, forgive me, I know what I told you. At the time, I was being honest. Should've came to you first. Wanted hood love, but died of thirst. Everything I tried to fix myself, I made worse. Not denying that I'm blessed, just rebuking the curse. That's it, my shoes, my shoes. That's it.